Biotech plays a vital role in Utah's economic growth as well as public health innovation and scientific advancement. With a rapidly expanding life sciences sector, Utah benefits from world-class research institutions, a skilled workforce, and a business-friendly environment that fosters cutting-edge developments in pharmaceuticals, diagnostics, and medical devices. Utah ranks third among all states for life sciences employment concentration. In my district, Halia Therapeutics, a clinical stage biotechnology company, is advancing drug candidates for Alzheimer's disease, myelodysplastic syndrome, and obesity. Halia is also working to crack inflammatory disorders. Utah's all-in support for the industry is also attracting companies like Nusano, whose products will make Utah the epicenter for radioisotope technology used in cancer treatment. And Denali Therapeutics recently completed construction of a 60,000 square foot manufacturing facility in Salt Lake City, the first biotech operation of its kind in the state that is developing therapies for neurodegenerative disease and Hunter syndrome. Utah is at the forefront of U.S. biotech advances, and we need the federal government to serve as partners in fostering continued innovation. So with that, I also want to make an ancillary note that gain-of-function research for COVID is one of those biotech things we have to be thoughtful of, and I'm sure your industries are thoughtful about how do we protect ourselves when there are sinister ways to use biotechnology, and you've been outstanding in your advocacy for this. I'll start first with Dr. Lee and a question. What are the key regulatory barriers the federal government is putting in your way that we need to break down so that United States biotech sector has an advantage when we compete with adversaries like Chinese Communist Party?
Yeah, thank you for your question. It's great to also hear the examples you're sharing. I'm familiar with some of them as well about all the great work happening in Utah. I think as the NSCEB report highlights, it's a complicated regulatory landscape. I mean, the examples you gave, a lot of them are in the kind of medical countermeasures medicine space. It's a very complicated set of regulations in that space as we think about applications in environment and other areas. There's other regulations that come into play. And I think one of the challenges that companies, particularly smaller companies that are trying to grow, they might have a really promising technology, and they may not have enough understanding and awareness of how to traverse what can be a pretty complicated regulatory environment. I think there are opportunities to figure out how can we focus on helping those smaller companies with very innovative technologies grow and be nurtured and supported as they have to try to bring their products and processes and services to market. I think there's opportunities there. I'll highlight that one of the recommendations in the NSCEB report that I don't think we've touched on very much in the discussion so far is the idea of creating a National Biotech Coordinating Office, an office that can kind of span the breadth of government, looking at where there are opportunities to improve, where there's opportunities to create some strategy and synergy, and where there's opportunities to ensure that we're leveraging all of the resources and all the specialties across the government. So I think one way I would think about it is that important activity can be an avenue by which we can start to think about how we can improve and support those businesses that want to grow.
Thank you for bringing that up. And we want to get out of the way so that these industries, particularly the smaller innovative technologies that might be destroyed by regulatory burdens, can be enhanced as to their likelihood to bring important products ultimately to market. Dr. Techman, thank you very much for your focus on the workforce pipeline. And as you know, China is very focused on STEM education. How can we get our students more interested in math and science, especially in the K through 12 level of education?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think it's really important that we show how incredible biology is to students. I mean, as a high school student, I had the privilege of being able to go and see what it was like in a molecular biology lab, and for me, that was the spark. And so I think it's been brought up before. I think there's so many examples that capture the imagination of what biology can do, and I think that the more that we can give those experiences to students early on in their education, the more that they will then be able to then take that and run with it. I think that's what's going to make us competitive when those high school students are using tools for genetic engineering to be able to make these new functions that are helpful and see the potential for biology. At that point, I think we start to build that pipeline.
Thank you very much. Instead of becoming social media influencers, I might actually come to your position and come to Congress and tell us how great all that stuff is. Well, Mr. Chair, thank you very much for the time. And with that, and thank you for the answers to those questions, I yield back.